What makes you think she's a witch? Oh, she turned me into a newt!
I love that so much. I hope you guys enjoy that intro just as much as I do. Huge Monty Python fan, by the way. Anyway, tonight is Tarot Tuesday, and it is me, the legit witch MD, Sarah G. I'm here tonight with a very special guest tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's one of my favorite people in the whole world who introduced me to this whole podcast group. Hello, Mike. It's the king. It's King Mike L. Oh, yes. Okay.
There
Yes.
it is. There,
Yes, there's some vocal. Okay.
there I
So
am.
here you are. So usually for my show, what I do, and you know because you've watched it multiple times, is that I pull a card and we kind of interpret the card. I know you're a numbers guy, so you don't have to necessarily know what this card is or know anything about it, but there's a number here. So I'm hoping that you can kind of pick up on that. So tonight's card, I picked the Six of Wands. Okay. So what do you feel about that number?
So I immediately go to oh God, what's his name? That genius guy, 3 6s and 9s. Oh, how am I forgetting this guy? Tesla.
Oh, okay. All
The whole
right.
3 6s and 9s. So anything that's 3 6 or 9 to me is meaningful because that's part of like what kind of makes up everything, the whole vibration thing.
Mm-hmm.
The theory that there is vibration, right?
Right. So vibration would be energy, right? If we're looking at that in a scientific way.
Yeah.
So in my world, a six is the most balanced number, if you think about it, right? Because we've got three on each side. And if you look at 3, 6, and 9, 6 would be the middle number of that, meaning that it's the most balanced as well. So this Six of Wands means the victory card. It means that everything's going to balance out, everything's going to be okay. Wands signify passion, drive, anything that you get excited about. So whatever you're excited about, whatever seeds you're trying to plant into the ground to allow that to grow, I feel like that's really important to look at and
But
say, it's happening.
can I say something?
You can.
You know, gives me a little bit of anxiety is
What?
the fact that she's got like what seems to be like 6 different like stakes planted in the ground
Oh,
all
yeah.
at the same time, and somehow she's looking up and they're all in the ground at the same time. It's very similar to what I'm dealing with, so that's kind of strange to me. Like there's a lot
It's
of those
not.
sticks.
But if you look at all of those things that you are implanting into the ground, right? So you are, your role in what legitpodcast.com is all about. You've brought us all together. You've given us some incentive to do things for ourselves, right? And so the end result is that everything is really kind of going into a certain pattern, right? So you're
Mhm.
kind of planting these stakes into the ground, meaning that you're giving these goalposts or these steps, if you will, right? So you're putting all of these things together in order to make some sort of semblance of a balance or semblance of some sort of flow. So also in this card, you'll see that wreath up there, and we know when people want to decorate our homes or our situations or whatever, we adorn them. So the whole idea of adornment is there, or decorating, or actually taking something and making it pretty and nice. So if you think about all the things that you're putting together, you're trying to make it pretty and nice so that other people will enjoy it. Lowest level, at the base level of what we're talking about is that what you're trying to do is you're trying to increase people's understanding by giving them guidance or goalposts or certain steps in order to for them to grow on their own and everything to be okay.
Yeah. It's I don't know if you want me to explain that, but yeah, that's
You
pretty much
well, no, you can agree with me. I mean, that's kind of
it's
what it's
pretty
about.
yeah, that's pretty much what it's about. Because here's the thing, right? Since I've been doing this, there's one thing that I stand by that I don't care what anyone believes, right? I was in a band where we get to a point where at least once, maybe twice a month in Rhode Island, we would sell out like a 400-person venue. We were doing it in Worcester. We started to do it. We reached the point where, and I wish this was a joke, but there was like a 3-city flip of us, Godsmack, and Stained. Like we all kind of and
Right.
like I have stories of me and Aaron standing in Great Woods in the field, hanging out together. Just me and him talking about the fact that he just got the same lawyer as Ice Cube. And I was like, "Oh my God, you're gonna be big then!" Like that's how weird that moment was with me and him, the lead singer from Stain. And I'm like, "You're gonna be really big if you get the lawyer from Ice Cube." So there's that rock and roll like whole fame bullcrap, right?
Hmm.
I came over to paranormal, and I went to a couple Paracons, and I noticed that there's like a paranormal fame type thing that goes on,
Hmm.
and it's kind of like the same thing, but it's not. And I want no part of it. Like my goal isn't for me to be, because I'm, whatever. But I like creating characters or showcasing somebody for what they're good at, right? And on top of that, in a weird way, I'm trying to teach people how to run their own thing, like do their own show,
Right.
manage themselves, know that they can now in their resume put, well, I could do this. I've
Right.
logged this many hours. It's all about putting in hours, and then, you know,
Which so what I just said and the whole idea of you're creating these things, you're planting the seeds, you're giving them, here's the ingredients to make this happen. I want you to do well with it, so go ahead and do it. That's exactly what that card is all about. It's giving people the drive, right? What drive is putting hours in, blood, sweat, and tears. It's giving them the forum to do that and to go with it and to make it their own. So you embody this at this moment in time. Hello. So not it's not, and I also feel like it's beyond the paranormal that you're tapping into that vein because really it's kind of you're getting people to think about things. And I think that that's really what you like to do. You like to get people to think about things, think outside the box, think about things in a more grandiose perspective, look at the big picture a little bit differently. And that's necessary at this moment in time, I feel like.
it. So people have a hard time saying something, right, and believing that could be anything other than what they just said. But there's like this weird process of saying it, writing it down, thinking it through. Now it actually is something, and you actually have like the cojones to go ahead and do it, and it's gonna either suck or it might be pretty good. So 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 yeah, like that's that's the basics. Sink
Yeah.
or swim, sink or swim. Is like let me phrase it like this. Uh, I'm I'm trying not to name names. Like
Don't name names.
the
No real
whole
life here.
the whole podcasting thing is strange, right? Like some people want certain things out of it, some people want other things out of it, and I'm somebody who can deal with people from both sides. Like to me, like I'm the guy that doesn't care. Like when people argue, like there's like a red and a blue.
Hmm.
I'm always in the middle because I don't
You
whatever.
like purple. You're a
I'll
big
listen to both.
purple fan.
Well, because I was just listening. I like to listen to both sides because then I don't feel like I have a real opinion if I didn't hear both people out. Like if I just listen to one person and I make my opinion on that, whatever. Anyways, the people that have worked out as hosts here are for a reason. Like they're all different. They all have different talents. They're all really good. You have gotten better show
Thank
after
you.
show after show. and it's all about you're gonna know this, just being comfortable.
Hmm.
Once you're just comfortable in you, it's like, we're good. You're
Yeah.
good. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, also, I feel like what the topics are and what we're talking about, people, especially with, I know, podcasts in general, right? People might not watch us, but they listen to us while they're doing something because that always seems to be the thing, right? So even if you catch it on a replay, you're listening to it, you're understanding it. It might not be something that you're watching, but you're processing it. And what we're talking about, especially with like the roulette situation that you have going on, the legit roulette, and then some of the other topics that we have going on, it's still interesting enough to people to kind of listen to as they're doing things, but it's the visual too that goes along with it. So you are like a double whammy here coming at us with the visual representation as well as what we talk about. And it's like people actually like to listen to what we're saying.
Yeah. Well, because here's the thing, um, especially through just the legit paranormal on Sundays, the show that's like it's been over 3 years now.
Hmm.
So just all the guests we've had on there, and the fact that I've always gone into it treating them just like the people, like
Hmm.
because what's good about me, I guess, is that I don't have a vast knowledge of paranormal movies or people that are famous in this world. Again, like
Hmm.
the rock life thing coming over to the paranormal thing has been weird for me. So I'm just like, all right, whatever. But like, so I don't. It, I keep wanting to say this one story, but I can't tell the story. So I'm having this moment with myself. So you ask another question while I
Think
suppress
about, okay.
this
All
story because
right.
it keeps popping up.
Okay. So not last week, but the week before, I think it was the week before when you did legit roulette, you were saying something about witchcraft. And, as my show is the legit witches in, right? We kind of have to go over that because you had said something. And for those of you listening and watching, you might remember, loyal viewers and listeners of the podcast that we have going on. You did say something about witchcraft being more popular with, women, and why is everybody considering themselves witches? And so I was not on that podcast, but what I did do was I wrote in, and said, this is what's going on. It's more
You see my
mainstream
head?
because,
You see
yes,
my
I
head
do.
though?
I sure do.
What's it doing?
Um,
What's this
it's
for?
shaking.
What's it mean?
It's saying, yes,
You know why?
you are.
You know why?
Why?
Because it did jump. It did jump. All of a sudden, everybody's a witch. I'm not joking.
Oh,
That did
yeah,
jump, man. Come
absolutely.
on.
I agree with you, but I kind of wanted to explain it a little bit differently so that people can understand it. The
Yeah.
reason why there are so many of us in the world now is because we were so, and I'm not saying we as in like, oh, this group, but now it's more of a mainstream thing to kind of do what you want. You being in the rock world at the time that you were, right? It was a lot of people looked at you funny. You had funny hair and tattoos and you sang about things that people didn't understand, and you kind of felt a little bit put to the side when it came to the mainstream world. And then all of a sudden, that
Who are you
genre of music
What are you
came.
talking about right now? About whose story are you telling right now? Because that's
I'm
not how my life went. So I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about.
I'm just giving you a for instance so that you
All
can
right. Well,
understand.
okay, but all
Okay.
right. Try
All right.
use someone else's life, because then therefore
You listen.
the
You love
weirdest
to.
thing. The weirdest thing is someone telling me something that didn't happen.
I'm
Like,
giving you a for instance.
all right. Well, for instance, like use like Bugs Bunny, because he doesn't exist. That way you can say whatever you want that follows
Bugs
it.
Bunny.
Yeah, but don't
You are
use.
way off topic.
You have
But
no idea the rock lifestyle and what it
I
was actually like.
listen. No, I might not have lived your life. No, but what I can tell you is that at base level, what I'm saying is that people looked at you funny when you were doing the thing that you loved, right? Whether they
No,
agreed it, no, they all
no,
loved you. I'm so
no,
sorry.
no.
They
They didn't look at me
loved
fun.
you.
They listen. They've if we're talking about looked at me funny, they've always looked at me funny. But there's a different thing
But
about me. Like, listen, no wait. There's people that look at you funny, right? And then
all
there's
the
people
time.
that know to wait till they're out of your sight to look at you funny. And that's literally I'm that type of look at you funny. So I know people look at me funny, but it's just one of those things where they pass on me, because I
Right.
think the craziness kind of like comes out of my pores,
Okay.
and it's like why deal with someone else that's crazy? You don't want to deal with crazy. Go find something else. You know what I mean?
Right. I
Anyway,
do. I do. So what I was trying to allude to
I'm
and
sorry. Yeah.
trying to that's okay. I was trying to say that in the mainstream world that it is now, yes, you're going to see a lot of people like me. Do they have the same abilities? No. Do we look at them funny? Yes. But at the same time, that's why you're seeing more people kind of embrace this lifestyle. It's a lifestyle,
Yeah, I
you
know,
know?
but that's why particularly uh uh careful when it comes to witches. Like,
As well you should be.
that is true.
No,
Like,
I'm just kidding.
but when I'm dealing with them, I can tell ones that have something, and I can tell some ones that don't. And I know what? I don't know why I think I'm Inspector Clouseau and like that I know, but I literally can tell. I can
Right.
tell right away.
Mhm.
You don't realize, but what you said during the summer ones when you did everybody's like kind of like a quick thing
Yeah.
around the room,
Mhm.
you were dead on with me, with the gentleman to my right who will not be named.
Yep.
Do you remember what you said
Yeah. Of course I do.
about how
I don't remember
it was gonna go this
shift.
way, and then I
Mhm.
was gonna do this?
Uh-huh. Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So I mean, like, there's
So,
ones that kind of like in
yeah.
other words, some read you, I feel like, and then
Yeah.
some are reading me, but they're still like it's helping them figure out. Like, it's almost like someone gets in your head and sees your next few steps. Does that make any
Right.
sense?
Yeah, but then there are the ones which I would say like me who really just want to help you and give you a heads up. I don't want to be in your head. There's too many people in there. I don't want to be in there.
Yeah, there's no room.
No. But if I'm going to give you a heads up, excuse me, then I'm going to be able to do that for you.
I
You
know, but
know?
you ever know something, but you still don't want to buy into it, and then it ends up just being something that like you have to deal with, and it's just like you don't want to. You just don't want to deal with. I'm one of those people that I just wanted to go away, like the problem.
Yeah.
That's my first response to a problem. I just want the problem to stop. Like I want it
Hmm.
to stop and just go away and fix itself.
Yeah.
But then when it keeps going,
Hmm.
you have to take care of
You have
that.
to
And that's
face it. Yeah.
kind of what you told me. Yeah. No, that's weird. That weirded me out because like when you were done, I'm like, she either read us really well or I mean that was really good. Like I had to think about that for a while, and then I was like,
I think
that was
it's
really,
I think
really
it's
good.
on video too. I think it's on video somewhere.
Yeah, it was
Not your reading.
no, yeah, no. My the paper that I signed said that mine could not be videoed. It had to be
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
green M&Ms.
Yep.
Had to
Yep.
be
That
peanut
was
butter
your
and jelly
writer. That was
sandwiches.
your writer.
Yeah. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
With the crust cut off. Yep. I remember
Mm,
that. Yep. I signed
yeah,
that too.
yeah.
Yeah. But I think that it's great that you say that because we're not all the same. Just like in the rock lifestyle too. Not every performer is going to be the same. So you kind of have to weed out who you really think has talent or think is worth it. And what you are doing now when it comes to legitpodcast.com is like you're trying to do that and you're trying to create more content with various people that have a lot of talent in certain ways, right? And we're all human beings, but we might not be able to be able to talk to somebody and have other people understand what's going on.
Well, I mean, paranormal is such a gigantic word now. Like
Yeah,
it
it is.
can mean so
Mhm.
much, right?
Right.
So
Mhm.
much.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you come up with ways to touch on topics that people want to talk about that almost cover the whole, gamut of paranormal? Like, how do you try to do
Mhm.
different style shows? Is
Right.
what we're trying to do. And the thing is, you want to be able to present them with something that they learned when they leave, and my goal is if they laugh at least once, because the
Yeah.
hardest thing to do is make somebody laugh. And when you do make somebody laugh, that's when they feel the best. And
Mhm.
that's the best thing that I can offer as I'm trying to let the people that are more experts speak on the topics. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm listening. People don't understand that I'm always taking notes. I'm learning. So I can sit down with anybody in the paranormal world and have a discussion about whatever the topic is, because I know at
Right.
least a little about almost every topic. Because this is kind of strange. It's going to scare you. I'm over 800 hours of podcasts in the last 3 in so many years. Dude,
Mhm.
do you know how too much of me that is? Like 700 maybe 98 and a half hours too much of 800. No, for real. And if you're
Yeah.
someone like me, I don't like to go back and watch my shows 'cause I don't wanna watch me. I'll skip through me, watch everybody else, skip through me.
Yeah.
So for me, it's one of those issues. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No.
I ramble.
No, no, no. I think, you said it yourself earlier, the paranormal itself is such a vast place to kind of, whether it's this, that, the UFOs, witches, people have passed away, demons, blah, blah, blah. Like there's so much paranormal in its essence just means not normal by the normal, right? It's not normal. It's not what we see from A plus B equals C. There's so many other variables in there. So yeah, throwing all of these crazy things that are scientifically proven or not scientifically proven or whatever into one big realm is going to elicit a lot of conversations, even laughter. It depends on what characters you throw into the mix, but it's really going to incite some people to start thinking about things differently, and that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah, but so, I mean, you got ghosts, you got UFOs, you got
Hmm.
cryptids, then you get into the whole, the metaphysical of it. You have your
Hmm.
witches, you have, boy, we've done it in different ways. There's haunted places.
Hmm.
We review, equipment that they sell to paranormal investigators. We review, like, things like that, see if it's legit, if it's actually worth it. Like, we're gonna have this is crazy, but, like, when we relaunch on January 1st, 2024, right?
Hmm.
The big deal is that on social media, we're legit podcast, DOTCOM. Like, just spell the whole thing out. Reason
Hmm.
being is we're trying to completely free ourselves from guests getting called and told that it's canceled a couple days
Yeah.
before the show, and us finding out how that happened. You know what I mean? So
Right.
the goal is to get everyone over to legit podcast, DOTCOM. Like, if you're and if you're watching the video, and I never ask this, hit the like and subscribe button, and please tell someone else to follow along with that so we can get everybody over to the right one.
Right. Right. Because yes, there was a shift and there was a divide. And now what you are trying to accomplish within this is a little bit more on the grandiose scale, in a positive way, adding more shows, adding more content, having a different platform, doing some things differently.
Yeah.
And so the re-release is going to be one that, should be noticed. A lot of people are going to enjoy it. It's just going to be not the different characters, but the same characters, it's just revamping things a little bit differently.
Listen, you know what's missing from the world? Is
Tell me.
rap groups. Let me explain this. You know how everybody
Okay.
now is an artist?
Yes.
All right. Remember there were groups? And,
Yeah.
like, you'd have to wait for your favorite to rap and be like, "Oh, that's mine." Like, but it was a group,
Yeah.
Be it Wu-Tang, be it NWA, be it, like, Run DMC, like, whatever.
Mhm.
Certain guys that you like that you when you heard, like, the Beastie Boys, for me, the Fat
Mhm.
Boys, certain guys that I matched up with.
The Fat Boys. Wow.
Hey,
Okay.
do you realize how important the Fat Boys are to me in my life?
Wow.
Alright,
Now I do.
alright,
Now I
so
do.
listen.
Mind is blown.
No, wait, it's gonna be worse than that.
Okay. I'm
So
ready.
I listened to the Fat Boys when I was in high school a lot,
Mhm.
and,
That's
around
not that's
junior
not
year,
aging you.
I don't give a fuck. At this point, what do I care? I know I'm 80 years old. I'm
80?
happy to
I'm
admit it.
80.
I'm happy
80
to
years
admit
old.
it. Still have all my
50
real
years
teeth.
old. I'm 50 years old.
Anyways,
Okay.
way back. So I'm listening to them, and me and my friend Dave, we decided we're gonna start writing rhymes, right?
I met Dave.
Big tall guy, yeah.
Yeah, I
We
met
ended
him.
up being in the band like years later. Like this is how weird it was. And I had to come up with a rap name. Now,
Mhm.
my favorite rapper was from the Fat Boys, and his name was Prince Marky D. So
Mhm.
I said, well, I have to one up him. Prince would be king. I'm not gonna go with Mikey because I hate that. And then just L. So King Mike L. I created that name so long ago, and it's bothered people through so many points of my life. Like I can explain like maybe 12 times in my life where someone's like messaged me to let me know to grow up and stop using that name.
Oh
And
my
it's
God,
wait, hold
people.
on. But it's like how someone's not getting the joke of it that I
Yeah.
don't care about. Like in other words, on social media, I've never used my real name. I took a name, right, that I
Mhm.
created as a kid. Next thing you know, I'm in a band. I keep that rap name. That's a stage name. It was a brilliant move. It separates you tremendously, especially back in the
Mhm.
day. I go to writing whatever, come over to podcasting. Why would I not keep the same stage name?
You
It's a
have to.
stage name. It's a stage name. It's a
Of
brand. It
course.
is what it is. So it's like, but it bothers some people, man. Oh, you understand when I have people on shows, like, oh no, no one calls me King Michael, and I don't expect anyone to. But right, if they do know me, they'll call me it like because it's like no big deal to them. But when they first meet me, like, dude, when Kev was on the show, his name was Genius Kev, and people would test him all the time just because of his name. Like it antagonized them enough to be like, "Oh, genius, huh?" You know what I mean? Like that,
Oh,
but that's the truth, and so that's
yeah.
kinda also why I keep it because it does rub people.
Well, it rubs people the wrong way because maybe they're small-minded. I don't know. Nobody has tried to test me.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, here's the thing. People don't need to understand. I don't care about their lives. They shouldn't
Mhm.
care about mine. And you know what? Win-win situation.
Right.
We're
Well,
good. We're good. You know what I mean?
we're good.
I mean, look, I wanna be a dancer. I'm gonna finish the whole ballet. I'm gonna finish
I would
break
I would
dancing,
pay
the
I
top
would pay to
locking.
s I'd pay to see that. Yeah.
What? Which one? Break dancing?
Any of it. Ballet,
Did
breakdancing,
you ever break
jazz,
dance?
tap.
Did you ever break dance?
Of course I did.
What was your
I
break
grew up in
dance
the
name?
'80s.
What was your
I
break
didn't
dance
have
name?
one.
You
I
didn't have
didn't
a
have
tag
one.
name?
No.
Really?
No.
Alright,
I never had one.
what 2 substances would you grab if you wanted to break dance on top of?
A piece of linoleum,
That's one.
and you need a boombox.
Yeah, the boombox would be there, but cardboard
Oh,
box.
you need cardboard
Cardboard box.
box.
Yeah, that's the other one. That hurt more, but whatever. But, yeah, I use Kid Dustbuster.
What? What?
That was my break dance name, yeah, I swear to God.
So why Kid Dustbuster?
I
They
don't,
don't even make
so
Dustbusters anymore, I don't think.
well, that dates me,
Yeah.
and I was just always, look, when I wanna say when I was 12, I used to, so around my house had a corner, like a weird, like, just like a brick house, there's a corner, so I would hide
Yep.
behind the corner, and then I would come out and do plays, and I would, write different movies, and I'd have my brother and other people help me do the movie. I would tell them what to do, and I would charge the old Italian guys who were around here like a dime to come. I wish I was joking, to come watch me do the movies, and then we would act them out behind the thing, and they were good, and they would always like them, whatever. I then used to take
How much did you charge them?
a dime, a quarter sometimes,
Okay, alright.
and then what's weird is what no one knows is I made at least 3 different original tapes, in a band
You vi
with my
Oh, you
brother.
didn't video these.
No, listen to me,
Just
and with my brother
camcorders
and
were
my
yeah. Mhm.
friends and local friends, like, we sang I wrote songs thr it was called Bubba Frampton and the American Frogs. there's 3 tapes that exist in my house where we you don't understand, right? And we would write them in the shed. I would write them in the shed. We practice them. We record them. Like I was trying to write stuff and write music and do stuff like that when I was really super young. Like I always
Wow.
was trying to like write a play. Like I had a star in the play in first grade. Like I was always that kid. Like I just wanted to go do that stuff. Like I really,
Wha So why didn't you ever go into acting or anything, or did you?
that's what I got my degree in. My
You
associate
did?
My
Oh,
associate's in arts, from the Community College of Rhode Island. Um,
yes, Harvard on the Hill. Uh-huh.
it was in, acting, and you know what's funny is really funny is I technically graduated in 2019.
It
Now,
took you that long.
well,
Okay.
here's what happened. So I had 6 years of college,
Mhm.
and I went to URI, Rick, and CCRI. So
Oh, the
in my head,
trifecta.
I never thought associates. I don't know why. All these years that I right? So I go with the wife to, CCRI because she was thinking about enrolling. So while she's in there with a room, I grab one of the guys. I'm like, "Hey, why don't you pull up my transcripts and see if I qualify for associates or something," right? He pulls it up. He starts adding all the classes that I've taken and I pass and all this stuff. And he's like, "I think you do. I'm gonna pass this by the dean and I'll let you know."
Oh
And
my
on the
god.
ride home, she's talking about, like, enrolling, she's all happy, and I'm like, "You know what, I think I graduated." It was like just like, a guy move, like, just totally ruining, like, her good moment, like, and then I got a call, and they're like, "Hey, you graduated, class of 2019, you gonna come down and walk the stage?" And I was like, "No." I'm like, "No." I'm like, "What is it in?" And they're like, "He hasn't made a decision yet." Like, 'cause I could've qualified, like, 2 or 3 different ones.
Oh my god.
The one that I was heavy in was in the acting, so I got it. It came in the mail, and I keep it in a frame that's got, like it's right there with, like, this, like, tiger with the unicorn horn. Like, I don't take care of it is what I'm saying.
Oh,
It was a weird way to get a degree. It felt like I just showed up and explained, "Hey, I've been here a long time,"
I've done some things around here.
and they just gave me a degree, you know what I mean? But, yeah, that's what it was
That's
in, acting.
that's hilarious. Well,
Now, you know who Chris Sparling is, right?
yes.
Do you know the name?
Yes.
Alright, ever see the movie Buried with Ryan Reynolds, where he's buried the whole time in on the ground? The whole movie is just him on the ground.
No.
Alright, but Chris wrote that. Let's see, Sea of Trees, with Matthew McConaughey. Is it like,
Yes.
okay, that's one. Intrusion, which was on Netflix,
Uh-huh.
or
Okay.
ATM, which is on Netflix.
Uh-huh.
We got people trapped in an ATM. Well, that gentleman is Chris Sparling. He is my younger brother's best friend. He grew up down the street.
Mhm.
His manager his manager is now the guy that is half in on the DC universe with James Gunn.
Oh.
So, like, when it's, and when he made his first movie, like, on his way up, my older brother directed it, and they used one of our songs, and you can still look it up to this day. It's a rock, paper, scissors fight scene. He wanted to use one of the songs, and we thought he was gonna use, like, a clip, you know?
Yeah.
It's like the
Did you have to
majority of
re-record
the
it?
song. What's that?
Did you have to re-record it, or was it just in
No,
its
no, no, he took the song and pretty much played it out through the whole it's like a music video unto itself. Like, he really, like
Wow.
it's like you thought he was just gonna take the song out for a date, and then all of a
Mhm.
sudden, it got much worse, like, he's moving in with the
Wow.
song, like, it was a lot of it, but
Wow.
I was appreciative, and he's doing incredible, and, sometimes do I ever think, like, maybe I should call him up and be like, "If anybody needs, like, an old Italian, um,
I'm right
I'll
here.
be there. I'll be there." I can do all the grouchy things, I know all the lines, and I can do voices. I do the puppets, right? Do you know how
Yeah.
to do the puppets? Alright.
Mhm. You told me about the puppets. Yeah.
And, how about the MTV game show? You
Yes,
know,
I saw
right?
lip service. It was
Right,
lip
lip
service.
service?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how the rap thing started because we talked to D Nice after that show, and
Yep.
we gave him a demo tape, and then we got back to him one time, and that's when we got enough confidence to, actually become a band. We had no. You want to hear something? I had no right being in a band, but I was like, I made it happen. Like
Yeah,
I just kept it. You know it. That's why I keep saying it's similar to this, but different. There's certain people I know that's somebody you want. Like that person's gonna fit.
I
And then there's
told
some
you.
people
That's
I'm
the
just
whole
like,
card we talked about earlier. That's the whole card. Yeah.
so
Go
you
ahead
think
though.
that you think that card comes out because I'm over here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I do. I think that because you said it yourself about energy or movement, you know, not in the air per se, but it was meant to come out tonight so we could talk about that.
Yeah.
It wasn't the devil, it wasn't the tower, it wasn't, it was literally it's the victory card. Putting all of these things together and a homecoming because you're happy about it, you know?
I I told you that how I was waking up from dreams, right?
Mhm.
Did I tell you?
Yeah.
It's happened like I want to say 6 or 7 times where right before I wake up, the room is completely flames. And I sit up and I'm like astounded at these flames. And then I wake up and I'm sitting up. This
Mhm.
happened several times. Um, that creeps me out, and I wonder if it's my brain's way of creeping me out right before I wake up and messing with me, or it's like obviously trying to tell me something. Because the weird thing is, dude, it's not like I'm burning, and it's not like the flames are bothersome. It's more like it's like, what the Christ? Like, why am I sitting up in a room with flames? Then I wake up and I'm
Yeah.
sitting up.
Well, that could be kind of interpreted, and I'm sure that you could ask David Barr
You want me
about
to lay
this.
down on a couch?
No.
No, all right.
No, but I'm saying you could ask Dreamy David Barr because he would absolutely have the right connotation to what that looks like, but
You know what's weird
I
is I'm
think
asking you though.
I know, it's so weird, but what I but what I was gonna say was that remember how we just talked about the fire, the passion, the drive, right? So in my world, these wands that you pulled earlier signify that. Fire, right? You have all of these great ideas, you have all of these great concepts, you have all of these things that are floating around in there, and that every once in a while they really want to go. Fire burns, and so does the way that we look at things, right? It's like when somebody says to you, light that fire under your ass, get going. You have way more energy than most people do. You have way more ideas, you have way more notebooks full of shit, you've got tons and tons of stuff, right? That can be kind of signified as fire because you have all these things that you want to put a light to. You have all of these ideas you want to get going. And when we want something to happen, especially within my world, what we do is we can light it on fire because then the energy changes and it puts it into the universe in a certain way. So, the way that I would look at that, waking up, it's almost like you wake up in a sweat because you have all of these things that you want to accomplish. You have all of these ideas that you want to do. You've got all these things, and yet you don't have enough time. You don't have enough resources. But still, these things are really playing at you and they're pulling at you and they want to get going. That's the way that I would look at that.
Yeah, so that's partially correct.
Okay.
Because here's the dread that I have too, though, is that
Okay.
every time I wake up like that, there's this feeling like the flames aren't good. It's just that I'm ambivalent to them. I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. Like I don't know. That's the
Well,
only weird twist on it that always bothers me about the dreams is that like I don't think they're like happy flames. You know, I know what they
well,
represent, and I just don't care at the moment, and it's just like, and then I wake up, which
but if
I don't
you,
know.
if your brain and your drive is different than most people's, right? Because you've done a lot of crazy things, let's put it honestly. You've done a lot of crazy things that people can only think about or dream about. And so your ideas are always going to be kind of swirling around in there and they're kind of like again like a storm, right? And so you wake up and you're like, just another day. Hmm, you know? For you, that drive is normal. For you doing all the crazy things that you do, that's normal. That's part of every day. But for somebody like me or somebody like, the next person, the next jabroni, it's not gonna be something that they are as ambivalent to or as flippant towards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. You ever feel like that people think on like multiple highways? That's the best way I can explain it. Like
Yeah.
some people only think on 2 lanes,
Hmm.
and then some
Yes.
people got like 6 lanes going. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
I feel like I do better with people with multiple lanes. The people
Yeah.
that I usually get along with the best. The people that
Yeah.
have like 1 lane or 2 lanes like of just thought process at the same time, that's
Yeah.
simple to me. Like,
Those
you know what I
people
mean?
are the people that would take offense to your name, the people with 1 or 2 lanes. They take
Yeah.
offense to your name.
But just so you know,
Yes,
and I don't know if you've seen me do comedy.
I
I
have.
enjoy I enjoy when they don't laugh and are offended as much as I enjoy when they laugh and think that's just a really funny way of looking at things. Because I don't look, dude, it's so good to not care. You know what I mean? Like that's a really good it's a real freeing thing. Like,
Yeah.
what do I care? Like there's so many things that can be said about me that I can say about myself. It's just like, but I don't care. So that's why it's great to get like paranormal people from different areas that are good at what
Mhm.
they do, so that people can hear different things daily. Like in other words, not just stay in one topic, but get all topics going and get people. It's like the Love Boat of paranormal, like different kinds of characters that you get to know that can do
Who are
different
you?
things.
Are you Captain Stubing? Who are you?
I don't know who I would be. I would be.
Hi, Bam.
I don't know who I'd be. Oh, Atkins tumblers. See, now the great
Oh,
thing about
yes.
Atkins tumblers is it keeps the hot stuff hot and the cold stuff
Cold stuff,
cold.
cold.
What else would you want from a tumbler? Yeah, I'm waiting for mine to be mailed to me. It ended up at someone else's house.
It
Amongst
didn't
its
end up at my house.
no, it's not mine. I'm waiting for it. I saw it. I actually saw, they're gigantic. They're awesome. They're like big tumblers. Like they're yeah. Anyways,
I love that.
yeah.
We have
So
merch coming. We have merch, right?
oh yeah. So we're actually designing merch and taking
Mhm.
people's opinions on what they would want to see. Rini leaned in on me with the serial killers. Serial killers. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, I was there for
I
that
can't
meeting.
put a. I'm not gonna put a serial killer's face on one of my shirts. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
I can't look. I can't.
That's only one facet of the paranormal, if you will. That's only one, like, how are you gonna encompass all of it? You can't pick and choose, so you kinda have to come up with your own design.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, exactly. But that's why
Mhm.
it's so much fun, but difficult with how everybody's different on all the different shows.
Yes.
Uh, so you only made it because of your tenacity. Like
Oh,
you were willing to do what other people didn't want to do because you didn't give a shit about the blowback. That's the
yeah.
only reason you made it to like where I listen to you enough where I'm like, yeah, she should do this and become the witch
Thank
on the
you.
podcast. It's tenacity that you have. It's
Thank you.
you didn't mind stepping like into a spot, you know what I mean, that maybe, I don't know, controversial, or you may be like compared to who was there before. You didn't give a shit about any of that. You would just like,
Nope.
if there's a spot, let me in.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, what are we gonna do? Wait around, twiddle our thumbs?
Don't know.
Doesn't work
That's
like that.
it. There's certain kinds of people, and if you're from the lovely state of Rhode Island,
Mhm.
there's certain kind of people here, and the ones that get things done, whether you like them or hate them, right? They have
Mhm.
that same sort of attitude,
Right.
and that's just how life works. I don't know. Maybe that, people think it's a candy world, but you have to actually, when you see the thing, you have to just take it and be willing to get. It's that whole nobody wants negative blowback.
No.
You got to be willing to take it and just go because you miss so many opportunities when you don't.
Right. Right. I mean, what was I gonna I believe or I feel like a lot of things kind of happen to people like you and I in the sense of like we don't go out and look for it. It just drops in our lap. And whether or not you take it and you make it your own is more important than wishing that you had it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm gonna have this podcast. I've never done a podcast before. I haven't trained to do a podcast before. Yeah, I can make it happen. I'll figure it out. Right. And that kind of an attitude, who cares who was before? Who cares who's after? It's just you make it your own for that little kind of moment in time that you have it instead of woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Yeah, you were baptized by fire because you weren't even given the luxury of like a co-host. Like I'm usually on the shows, but this one you just went, and for the first couple of shows, I was like giving you comments on things that I thought that you should work on, or change, or do. It's not like I've been easy on you with this. Like, let's be honest. Like, it's like I give positive and like
Mhm.
actual criticism, because it's like
Right.
if you want me to bullshit you, it's the wrong place to be. It's just like, wouldn't we all want to get better?
Yeah, of course, and I never took offense to it and went with it, so and honestly, you said something about being comfortable earlier within it, and it's a conversation. It's just like when I do readings for people. I want people to feel comfortable. I don't wanna be like a stick in the mud. I want people to realize I'm a human being, and it's a conversation. If we fuck up, we fuck up, and if we don't, we don't. So, no harm, no foul, you
Well,
know?
look, so I've done interviews with people that are on the shows, that are on this, that are known for this, that are famous for this incident, that are this, that, the other. And all it comes down to is when you hear a personal experience that's actually legit, not to use the word, but I just did anyways, you can feel it. Like, I went
Mhm.
to that Bigfoot convention, and I had some people come tell me about Bigfoot. Well, yeah, you just laugh, right? 'Cause that's
I
kinda what
love
I
it.
do.
I love
But
it. Like,
there
what
were a
would you do
couple
on
of
a
people.
Saturday? I went to a fucking
Yeah, in Fort
Bigfoot
Defiance. It was in Fort Defiance, Virginia.
Oh,
Everybody had guns. Everybody had guns. One guy came to me, and he was like, he was saying something like this. I'm like, "Where do you live?" He goes, "Well, I don't have a house." I go, "Yeah, but where do you live?" And he's like, "In the woods." Like, a lot of them lived in the woods, so, like, and they were gun toting. I mean, some of them were different, but they were all gun toting.
yeah.
But anyways, there's a couple of people that told me stories that were like, "How
You
do you
could
not
be
believe
legit. Like,
how do you
how do
not
you
believe what he
yeah,
just told you?" It was just
I
like,
know.
maybe, like, it was just told differently. But, yeah, I think they're all connected, dude. I think,
Yeah.
Bigfoot, UFOs, ghosts, all that stuff.
Well, I mean, you look at it, it's the paranormal, right? So it's not what we would normally look at. And I know because I can speak to the other side as a medium, right? That they exist. I can't explain it. I can't give you an EVP. I can't give you a spirit box. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can tell you that it exists because to me it does. And I can validate that for you. But somebody's laughing at us. But, you know, but for everything else, if it's your experience, if the people who are seeing Bigfoot are looking and they're like, well, I can't explain this otherwise, you don't know that, but they believe it. So you got to take that with a grain of salt and be like, hey, if they believe it, if they're in it, then they're in it.
Just like kids believing in Santa. You
You
can't
know,
he does exist because people believe in him that much.
right.
So that's it with me. But like, no, the Bigfoot, some people are dead on, and it, like same thing with ghosts, anything like that. Some people tell stories, dude. Some people come on the show and they're like they want to do an infomercial. They
Really?
want to. Oh yeah, we've had some like people that are bigger that just wanted to come on and do like such canned lines of conversation. One
Like
guy,
a
to be
like a Billy
renamed.
Mays situation?
Was that?
Like a Billy Mays situation? Remember that guy?
No.
ShamWow?
Oh, yeah, yeah. It was kinda like that. It was just like
Yeah.
whatever we were saying, he was going back to, like, the topic he was talking about. So then I got me, and I was purposely trying to go away from the topic completely, and
Mhm.
it was just a battle of wits. I mean, the worst was, again, a gentleman not to be named, who wanted to show, just like, what do they call it? Still shots and, like, tell a story.
Yeah.
And every time I interrupted him, asking him a question, he got a little aggravated. Right? And I'm like,
Mhm.
"Why in God's name is he getting aggravated?" Right? And
Mhm.
I'm like, "Alright, well." So at some point, he said something like, "Oh, I'm used to speaking with people that know a little bit about what I'm talking about." And I'm like,
You're
"Ooh,
speaking to an
oh,
audience of people
wait,
who don't, so you
no,
have
no,
to kinda yeah.
yeah." But this is like, and if you ever watch the video, you'll see me like I mute myself and I lean up and I say to my wife, "I'm gonna destroy this kid. Like this is gonna go. I'm bringing him down." And I got back on the thing. Here's what I did. I kept playing dumb and letting him get angry. Like he would be
Yeah,
like, "All right,
like,
can I
"You're
just
not
get through
getting
this
this?"
last slide without any more questions?" I'd be like, "Sure, yes, of course. Okay, here.
Ah,
This is so and so." I'd go, "Hold on 1 second." He was getting it, and then so towards the end of the show, he's actually saying stuff like, "I'm sorry if I came off like an asshole, or I'm sorry if I was an asshole, or if I'm sorry if I sound like an asshole." By the third time you say that, guess what you were that night?
I
And I
don't
Yeah,
know.
right? So I say to him, I'm like, "You know what it is? You thought you were gonna just come show slides, but, like, and the problem was I kept repeating." Here's what I was doing to him. I had already seen his stuff. So, like, I knew what the next slide was gonna be because 'cause I've already watched it. So I was ruining it by, like, saying, "Oh, what next? You're gonna show me somebody who may look like Jesus Christ, and that's what you're gonna do? You're gonna explain what
Was
it
he
looks
on
like him?"
toast?
And his
Was he on a
next
toast?
what was that? No, no, it was just
I
a
said, "Wait."
it was
I
just
know.
a picture. No, it was just a picture of this guy that he was it was about his whole shtick. It's just that I knew it. I did my homework on this kid. So when it
Oh
came up,
my
he said,
god.
"Oh, you must have watched my stuff." So at the end, I'm like, "Here's the thing, dude. You didn't watch any of our stuff because if you did, you would have known that I asked questions and stopped people. So you know what? You broke my heart." Right?
Oh.
He proceeds to drink. There's half of a 2-liter bottle of like Crystal Pepsi. I don't know. Name a Pepsi.
Crystal
I'm
Pepsi? They
just
don't even
saying
have
name
that
a
anymore.
Pepsi. He proceeds to chug it down,
OK Cola? Okay.
all the way down, and
Mhm.
slam the bottle down and stare into the camera. And this is what you get this is all just give me 1 second. You hear, "You all set? Any last words? You wanna say something? Anything you
Oh
wanna
my god.
say?" And I'm not stopping till he goes, "No." And I'm like, "Go, 4," and I wrapped it up, and he's the only guest that's ever dropped before we could even get into the
Oh,
green
well,
room.
I guess he's not gonna come back.
Oh, no, but it's a legendary show. 'Cause it was like I was dragging him out to the deep end of the water to let him drown. Like, he was just it was one of those things where I was rope-a-doping him. He was throwing so many punches, and I was just like, "All right, dude, punch yourself out because eventually
Yeah.
I'm turning this conversation on you." You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, yeah,
it's weird, dude. When you podcast, like, you're not just trying to get information out of somebody.
yeah.
If you're good at it, you're thinking, "All right, they're saying this. What's one step left that I can take what they wanna do? What's one step
Mhm,
right?" Like, I'm in my head, I'm always writing notes, which is true. I had notebook upon notebook upon notebook. I'm always
mhm,
writing down because people are always surprised that I'm listening to what they said, which
mhm.
is, I guess, rare in the world, like, that someone actually listens to what you say.
Hey, people pay for that for me, so.
You know what I'm trying to say, though? Like, it's just like, whatever, I take
Yeah,
notes and I stay on top of stuff, and,
yeah,
dude, it's been, a lot of fun, and what's funny is, like, what other people would consider, like, "Ooh, those are negative times or negative parts." If you don't care about them, right, and you're detached, say they were, like, these bad parts, right, and I
mhm,
just broke them off, and then I slid them down the ice while I just stood here like this, eventually, they're so far away, I don't even what do I care? I really
yeah,
what do I and the other part is, what I'm afraid of is, as a kid, I always rooted for the bad guy. Like, I was a Roddy Piper guy, not a Hulk Hogan, because I couldn't identify with Hulk
Oh,
Hogan. Hulk Hogan was
yep,
gigantic and blonde and everything and whatever, and
mhm,
Roddy Piper was everything opposite of that.
mhm,
That's an easy pick for me. Like, I was probably the only one out of my 2 I have 2 brothers, 1 older, 1 younger. Out of the 3, dude, I'm such an oddball in my family in so many ways. Like, I rooted for the teams they didn't root for, right?
yeah,
They're all my brothers are both 5'7", my parents are both 5'3". I'm just a little bit over 6 feet. I don't look
you're the
I
mailman's kid.
that's what they always used to say, and I'm not even
Mhm,
joking. That was, like, the nickname, yeah, because it doesn't like, I don't physically make sense amongst the 2 of them. They both look kind of similar, and then I don't.
So you always voted for the bad guy. Me too. The Wicked Witch is my favorite. I don't
Well, I
want
didn't.
Glinda.
She scared me. She did. She scared because she came on Sesame Street one time too, and I was like,
Oh
"Geez,
yeah, Margaret
Christopher,
Hamilton. Mm-hmm.
that made her really exist to me." I'm like, now she's on Sesame Street. Certain
Oh
things,
yeah.
just, dude. There was some public service PSAs, I guess they called back in the day when we were kids. You remember the
Yeah.
one about the electricity? They're like, "Don't play with power lines." And this
Yes.
kid throws a frisbee, and the girl's like, "Go get the frisbee," and it's on one of the power line things. He's like, "Oh yeah," and he goes to grab it, and when he grabs it, his pants go on fire. He gets like lit on fire, and like, dude, I'm a little kid. I'm watching like what was it called? The roller coaster, Space Coaster. Like I'm watching something
Yeah.
like that. You know what I mean? I don't want to see that as an infomercial. Like I'm
No.
terrified.
No, it was a PSA. Remember the one about
PSA.
with Daffy Duck? Remember the one with Daffy Duck and the pans? Do you remember that? Don't when the handle of the pan was out on the stove and he was
Oh
like,
yeah,
"Don't touch
yeah.
it," and he like burned himself and like,
Yep.
oh my god, we
Yeah.
grew up in some times. Let me tell you.
No, but there were other PSAs that were terrifying. There was what about the one about the drowning that would, as it panned back, it would show the kid floating, and you'd hear, "What a great day to be in the water," right? That was like if I to a Rhode Islander around my age frame, if I say to them in this tone, "What a great day to be in the water," they immediately go back to that's what's on the radio. That's the radio guy's saying as they pan away and they show this kid floating in a pool.
Yep, I
That's
remember
what we
that.
grew up with. Yeah, it was like, look, don't play around in pools or you'll die like this.
Awful.
Horrendous.
Oh my god.
Horrendous.
These are the times, right?
Listen, there
Yeah.
should never be a point where parents are wilder than the kids. That's not our fault. That's not our fault. It's their fault. It's their fault. Yeah, because when they're young like that, they need to make bad decisions. They need to have bad nights. They need to go through the whole thing. They get to experience everything. Because if you don't, it's my theory about being punched in the face. If you have never been punched in the face, you don't know there's a line.
Go try it.
No, I'm just being honest. Like they don't know
No,
when.
well, it's a lesson. You have to learn the lesson, right? Well, that's what it is. I mean, I was just talking the other day about being in the woods and almost having alcohol poisoning. And like, my kids are gonna get there someday, I'm sure, but they have to learn the lesson that you don't drink Goldschlager in excess because what's gonna happen is you're gonna throw up and it's not gonna be pretty. But call me if you do.
If you watch last night, I have a Goldschlager story that ends actually much worse than that. I did 8 shots in a row. I did 8 shots in a row.
Do they still make that? Do they still make it? Goldschlager?
Dude, the whole gimmick was that there were gold
Gold
sparkles.
flakes in it. It was gold flakes.
And
they were
like
edible.
Cannonball. Is that bullshit?
Fireball. It was kind of like a fireball, right?
Kind of.
But without the whiskey. That or green alcohol.
Do you remember when Jack Daniels first came out with the lemonade? The first time it came out?
Lynchburg lemonade. Yeah.
Lynchburg. That to me, that with wine coolers was like
instant heartburn is what that was.
Listen, I don't promote early drinking. I'm just saying that there was a point where I would have drank. It didn't matter what the liquor was. Like I didn't literally taste alcohol probably until I was about 23, 24. Because up to that age, it was just chug. Didn't matter what we were drinking.
Funneled it. You should have just gotten a funnel.
No, I would never do that. But have you ever done a keg stand?
Yes. I also went to URI.
Where'd you stay?
On campus. I stayed at I was in the ghetto, so I was in Burnside.
All right,
for the first year.
You know what Aldridge is?
Yeah, of course.
That's where I was. That's where I fought 6 guys with one leg. I had a full cast on my knee all the way to my foot, and they broke in from Providence. They wanted revenge because of something to do with one of their girlfriends.
Oh God!
And I proceeded to get beat up by 6 of them. That's why my nose is crooked to this day. I had a couple friends come in, and it was like a pig pile on top of me. And like, dude, there was some savage things that happened that day. Like that was the day that I learned that
Just that day.
that moment was
Mm.
the moment of who I am, what I'm going to be in life. Like, in other words, that's when I really realized that someone will take your life. Someone might be crazy enough to actually do that. So you have to respond completely accordingly every single time.
Well, you have to have your wits about you.
No, listen, it's almost like killing a fly with the sledgehammer. It's like
Oh my
when
God.
something happens, just immediately take care of it. And that way you don't have to worry about it. Because,
Mhm.
dude, I was counting punches to the face, my friend. I'm going, I
Well,
can't
you're
believe this hit. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, it was a crazy moment, right? I got out of it. I got my way out of it, but still, it was like I might. Have you ever had a moment where you're like, I might die? Because I flipped the car. It wasn't me driving. My friend was driving, of course. Driving home from Canada, going too fast. Next thing you know, we fishtail through oncoming traffic, miss our house, hit, flip, smash, land. I don't know, but with flip like this, where he's up and I'm down, he comes to behind the wheel as he passed out and just drops and lands on me on my face and smashes my glasses. Now his arms hurt, or his legs hurt. He won't stand up on top of me to stand out of the car because it's sideways. And he's suffocating me because I'm being squished by this motherfucker. I'm like, dude, just stand on me and get out of the car. So
but
I
it
was,
sounded more like this.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I've had a couple times where I'm like,
Well, I mean, I think we all have brushes with death, if that's what you think it would be, because there's been times myself that I've been like, I should not be here. Whether it's in a car, I remember one time in New York, I had a little bit too much to drink and I couldn't find my way back. And a homeless guy actually helped me. And I was like, and it was like, I could understand what was happening. And I was like, why can I not react right now? But he helped me. So, I mean, with every crappy thing that happens to you, there is, if you want to look at it and say somebody's looking out for you somewhere and kind of guiding you in the right direction, because
oh, no doubt, but I'm a hypocrite, and I'm
I know.
proud to be one. And a woman alone is a stupid idea.
I know. Well, I was also 22.
Yeah,
So,
you
and
make it
now
stupid.
I'm 29.
Yeah,
So I really thought about these things. And if
look,
you believe that, I have some land for you
men are
in
horrible
Florida.
people. Men,
Mm,
this is what I told my daughter. She's 20. Men are horrible people.
yeah.
They're horrible people. They're horrible people. I just want to know that they just are. And especially the college age. I'm like, dude,
Oh,
they're
awful.
just
Awful.
they're in their head. They're thinking, I got to do everything I got to do so I can say I lived the college life. Before, like, I thought balding and settle into a job in my early 20s.
Balding in your early 20s.
Oh my god, you know how many people have lost completely all their hair in their early 20s?
Yeah, then they
Right.
shave it and they look like
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. Clean.
See, I shaved my head last year, and I was told by everybody, within my circle to grow my hair back. I don't like Here's the
Do you
thing.
have no hair though?
No, of course I do. I have a full head of
Okay.
hair.
Well, then
I
why would you shave it?
Well, because so when my mom died, I lost hair. I
Yep.
lost hair in the back and I lost hair in the front, and I
Yep.
thought it was gonna be permanent. 'Cause I don't what do I know over here? And my barber's like, "No, dude, you just he could tell whatever." And
Stress.
then, like, the
Yeah.
next time it grew more, and I was like, "Ah." The next time it grew more, and I'm like, "Ah." 'Cause quite honestly, I don't like combing it. Like, I don't like having
I can
hair
understand that. I don't like to
because I'm
comb
not
mine either, and I have a
I
lot
don't
more
wanna
than you.
prep it. Like, that's why it's always
Yeah.
like, I would rather have my head where there's no hair. But honest to
You
God,
just
like,
said that so Rhode Island. No hair.
no hair. No hair, guy.
Guy. So listen, 9:09. Good
Right?
job. Good
Look at
job there.
look at this.
I
Look,
know, you're
is
so
is
good.
this the longest show of yours
Yeah,
yet?
it sure is. It's the longest show, everybody. I think that you deserve a round of applause for that.
I don't think so. No, I won't go that far. You know, quite honestly, who deserves a round of applause nowadays?
Uh, I don't know. Performers,
Performers.
circus acts,
Eh.
heroes. I don't know.
Heroes. I like that. Hey, by the way, the legit podcast DOTCOM is on social media.
Subscribe.
Highharvest.net, highharvest.net. If you're in the local Rhode Island area and you're into the cannabis area, there's nothing better than the edibles they provide, the information they can give you. Highharvest.net. This show, right?
Yep.
It has been going on for how long, you think?
2 months.
Is
Or
it only
maybe
been?
3. It might be 3 months.
I think you're at least 3 months in.
Yeah, I think I'm 3 months in.
And what's funny is, other than when there's PPAC nights, which I still don't know when they are, man. I got to be honest.
I
Every
sent
week
you a
I'm asking,
schedule,
is it
Fred.
PPAC tonight? Is it
No.
PPAC tonight? I ask
No,
every
the
time.
I think the next show is not until February, I think.
Because you can't throw dates at me like that far in like
Oh God.
in my head. I'm
Okay.
like, oh man, I don't know what to do with these numbers. Sarah, I appreciate you having me on the show.
I appreciate you being here.
There was a lot of rambling,
But we went like this.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's like the cyclone at Rocky Point. It was a little rickety. It was a little rambly, but boy, was it fun.
Yeah. Music Express was probably my favorite. And
rock
then,
and roll.
the Enterprise was what
The
all the big
Enterprise.
kids did. Yeah. And the only one I wouldn't do is the Free Fall. You know why?
Really?
Why would I want, like, see, I'm one of those people. Why would I want to do that? Where's that? See, that's not fun for me. Fun is going around, dropping around, doing fun shit. Having the bottom drop out and just drop, I'm out. I'm
So
out.
crazy. Oh, so
I'm
much
out.
fun.
Fuck that.
You don't know what you
Fuck
missed.
that.
And you
Fuck
got all the way
that.
up to the top and you could see all the way across Narragansett Bay. And it was so cool. And then you went, boop.
All
The
my friends
coolest.
would go, all the girls would go on with them. They'd all look at me like I was something, like, I'd be like, I don't give a fuck.
That's all right.
I am not, no, I wasn't doing it. Like,
I know, I'm saying that's okay. You don't have to.
I can't believe that people enjoy the idea of just falling.
It's called a free fall
I'm not
for
doing
a
it.
reason.
I don't want to do it.
I don't think I ever did the zipper. Remember the zipper was near the shore diner hall?
Is that the one that went around, but also you sat in
Yeah,
cars and
and
you spun?
yes.
No, I didn't.
I never did that one.
That's it. That's like, why do I want to puke? Like that's what that ride was. Like, it's going too many directions. But the rock and roll over had that thing where it would turn and it would turn and it would hit the gear and you'd feel it and it would spin you over.
Yeah, that was
be
fun.
Playing like Led Zeppelin, Motley Crue.
Oh, that was the best.
Fucking bomb, Rocky Point back in the day. Fucking bomb.
Music Express too. You go forwards, and then you go backwards.
Apollo 11 was just like that, and it was right next to it, where it was, but it was more like space themed.
Yep, and no, Music Express was all like that Peter Max style stuff.
And then the Flume, which it was just called, by the way, the Flume. Like, that's so Rhode Island. It's such a basic Rhode Island. The fucking Flume, FLUM, Flume. And dude, the first drop was like decent.
Neil Barker's chiming in and saying that was awesome, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
We get a lot of. We
get a lot of. Yeah.
We had a lot of viewers too. We actually get 4 hots on just this, because this is just this YouTube channel. Like, there's other YouTube channels that we're on. They're up in the box.
Yeah, Neil, that's right. What was your favorite ride? It's probably a toss up for me. Rock and Roll, Music Express. There was another one too that I really liked. I can't remember.
Apollo 13.
Apollo 13.
Yeah,
I thought it was Apollo 11.
What about the Skyline?
Skyline was cool.
Everybody would jump off. The cool kids.
I think you know what? You know what it was? The corkscrew. That was.
Oh yeah. That came. It was like a big. Imagine a ride came. And by the way, I had completely forgotten that we're still on air. I'm just talking to you now. So we probably should wrap up, because what I was about to say too was about the Rocky Point was when we get the corkscrew,
Yeah.
And all it was a roller coaster that went upside down in a loop. That's all it did. That's all it did. But we were freaking out like it was the Beatles.
Uh-huh.
The line to the corkscrew was so stupid back in the day that it was like, really? To just do that, you'd
Yep.
st
I think there were 2 loops and then the corkscrew part.
yeah, but it wasn't that big a
It
deal.
wasn't that big a deal, no, but it was like, it
I
was fun.
my favorite ride has always been the pirate ship,
Oh, really?
especially the ones when they go way too high and you
High
feel
and you're
like
like,
that's when you feel
oh.
like, "Oh, we're all gonna go down." Like,
Yep.
I guess I wouldn't mind going out that way if we're all gonna fall. Then that's fun, but, like, mm,
On a
oh,
pirate ship.
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna sail away. So,
Alright.
on that note, King Michael, you're the best. Thanks for coming on and filling some spots for me and going down a loop-de-loop. And we did talk some metaphysical stuff, which was great. But I will see all of you next week. Don't forget to pick your card of the week, subscribe, check us out. We're on all the socials. It is Let's Spell It Out, legit podcast, DOTCOM. I am Sarah G, the Legit Witch MD. I'll see you guys next week.